Now, this week, President Yoweri Museveni launched the Salam Bank, paving the way for the start of Islamic banking in Uganda. However, many remain puzzled as to how this will work. Now, to help us understand this better, we have the Managing Director of Salam Bank, Michael Mande. Good evening, Michael, and welcome to Talk of the Nation.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Straight into it. Talk to us about Salam Bank. Will it be in business effective Tuesday? Because that is when everybody else is reporting to work.
Salam Bank is the first licensed Islamic financial institution in the Republic of Uganda. We were licensed on September 8th by Bank of Uganda. That was 2023. And then launched on Wednesday, 27th, 2024, as the first Islamic financial institution in the Republic of Uganda. So Salam Bank has been open from the date of its licensing by Bank of Uganda. We have been doing operations. Our offices, our primary offices are at Rwenzori Courts. And of course, from that date, September 8th, to date, we've been doing activity. But the official launch, to unveil and present Salam Bank to the public, to the people of Uganda, was done by His Excellency the President on March 27th, 2024. So we have been operating, but the launch was the formal, official, unveiling of the first Islamic financial institution to the community.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Now, speaking about Islamic financial institution, the launch that happened on Wednesday paved way for Islamic banking, and would like, for purposes of understanding the conversation, would like to understand what does Islamic banking entail?
So, Islamic banking is an alternative way of doing business. We are also a bank like any other, but the difference, the cardinal difference, is that on top of complying with the current laws that govern financial institutions, we also strictly adhere to the Sharia law, the commercial tenets of the Sharia law. So that is one of the key differences that Islamic banking brings. So the other thing to look at is the product offering. Salam Bank, as the first and currently the only Islamic financial institution in Uganda, the type of product offerings that we have, that we offer to the communities, they are halal. Halal means they are strictly adhering to the Islamic law. For example, we do not give, we do not take interest. Okay, there are a couple of other things that differentiate us from the conventional institutions. For example, we do not finance certain types of businesses. Okay, take an instance, gambling businesses, alcohol businesses. Islamic banking considers these businesses harmful to the community. Those are some of the few. But of course, there are other types of activities that differentiate us from the conventional institutions. Our mode of business is one where we participate in the business that we are financing. We take risks and we also get return. So in Islamic banking, you do not benefit without taking risk in the business that you are financing. We also do not call them loans. For the conventional institutions, as you know, they give loans, that is money. But for us, again, in Islamic banking, cash is not recognized, as something with an intrinsic value. We understand it as a store of value, but also as a means of exchange. So for us,
instance,
what you want to use the money for is what we do for you. Those are some of the key differentiators between Islamic finance and conventional institutions.
For instance, if now I needed to get money, to acquire money for, say, to purchase a piece of land, for the conventional bank, that will necessitate, probably if I do not have the cash, will necessitate me to walk to the bank and acquire a loan to, purchase that piece of land. And what is it like for the Islamic banking?
Okay, so when it comes to Islamic banking, of course, at that point, you possibly know you need to identify the land, get to know where it is, identify its vendor, do the negotiations, get to know all the basics around that property, okay? Then you come to us and you tell us, this is what I want to buy. I want to buy this piece of land. It's worth this much. This is the vendor, and all the information relevant to that piece of land. So what we do in Islamic finance, it's akin to trade. We buy and we sell. Again, in Islamic banking, you cannot sell what you do not own. So what we do, therefore, we acquire that land,
okay,
we buy it, and then we sell it to you. So when we, for example, let's say the land is 100 million, okay? If you had the cash worth 100 million, again, this is an agreeable phenomenon in Islamic economics. If you have cash worth 100 million, you could negotiate maybe and pay, let's say 95 or even lower. But if you do not have the cash, but you want the land at that very instance, okay, and then you pay over a certain period of time, let's say 3 years, it is agreeable that even the 100 million will not be sufficient to buy that land. So what we do, therefore, transparently, we know that the cost of the land is 100 million, and then we put a markup, okay? That is what we call murabaha, okay? It's cost plus profit, and then that profit is then spread over that agreed period of time of 3 years, and then therefore we sell to you that land in deferred payment terms. You pay over that period of time, and after the payment is done, the land therefore becomes yours. That is how we do it in Islamic banking.
Okay, so what are some of the advantages of this kind of banking for the ordinary client, that one that is outside the outside the Muslim community?
To begin with, Islamic banking is not just for Muslims. Islamic banking is for all, okay? So some of the key advantages Islamic banking offers, brings fairness in finance, but also when you look at the details of Islamic banking, because we participate in the operation of the business, we share a risk, okay? We also share a return. There is involvement of the institution in the activity of the customer. So we bring real economic value as we do our financing. Because we do not give you cash, when you give cash, as you understand, there are risks of diverting the money. It may not necessarily achieve its intended value, therefore, increasing the risk of default by the customer. But for us, we invest in real tangible activities that the customer wants to do. Therefore, it brings the real economic value to the customer, okay, and then be able to achieve their plans.
Okay, so now during the launch, we had the president indicate that he was studying the Islamic banking, of course, with a view of channeling the parish development model funds through here. First of all, what is your take on this, and what do you think he is looking out for?
So as you are aware, possibly you know that the parish development model has been ongoing for some time now, but there are certain communities that have not been comfortable participating in the parish development model, specifically the Muslim community, because they believe that the PDM has an element of interest, which is riba. Okay, that is forbidden in Islamic faith. So for those Muslim communities, they have therefore not participated in these wealth creation activities of government. Therefore, it means some parts of the economy are moving forward as expected by government. There are communities that have been left behind. So the coming of Islamic banking, and Salam Bank to be specific, therefore plugs that gap to ensure that even these communities that had been left out can therefore participate and develop themselves. Yes. So
would clients of the parish development model find the Islamic banking a viable option, given the challenges that comes with the conventional banks?
I would believe strongly that they do, because when you look at the way Islamic finance works, we would, in this case, not give the cash to the customer, rather to the communities directly, as it is in conventional institutions. We pay attention to what activities, therefore, that the communities would like to get involved in that would derive value for them. And then we come into partnerships with providers of all these services to ensure that the intended beneficiary of the government program actually gets the anticipated value that they are supposed to get. Yes.
Oh, okay, so if I am a conventional banker, what are some of the cautionary measures that I should look out for if I consider transitioning from the conventional banking to the Islamic banking?
So, as I mentioned in the beginning, Islamic banking is just an alternative way of doing finance. The cautionary item that you should be looking at from conventional side, sometimes, if not most of the time, they apply also on the Islamic banking side. For example, you need to look at the health of your credit, your credit history. When we are to do financing for a customer, just like the conventional institutions do, we also look at how you have been, how your credit behavior has been. Okay. So we pay attention to some of the things, and we also look at the risk that the kind of activity that you want to undertake, how high such risks are, can you manage them, how are they mitigated. We look at all this variety of things.
So does this also apply to those conventional banks that are looking at, offering Islamic banking services?
Yes, this also applies to them, really. I believe they do apply. Yes.
Okay, so as we conclude this conversation, as you look to grow, what do you think is the reason that many people are shunning away from having accounts in different banks?
So different people have different theories with different institutions. Some people actually also change relationships from one institution to another, maybe because of sentimental reasons. Others, it's because of certain value or product offerings that the new institutions are offering. So for me, I would say the people are driven by different factors. For us in Salam Bank, we believe that moving away from riba, or let's say from the prohibited activities of conventional institutions to Islamic institutions, would be one of the key drivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Michael Mande. He is the Managing Director of Salam Bank, getting to share with us about Islamic banking, of course, following the launch of the Salam Bank, which is the first of its kind in the country. And with that conversation, we take a break and return with news from the world of sport.